We've talked about this a little bit, right? We've talked about drones, and there's now a new school of thought, which is like drone what? After 300 projectiles of various natures, drones, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, whatever, just got shot down in Israel. I say don't get too cocky because we have still seen drone warfare in its infancy, and we've seen it used to great success in Ukraine and Israel to some degree. And now this article comes out from Business Insider, and it says China is reportedly, this was sent to me by a viewer, and it's got some people a little worked up, even though the thing says, an analyst says the drones aren't necessarily a game changer. It might be. China is reportedly developing military drones that can split into 6 to overwhelm enemy defenses. So take your 300 drones and now multiply that by 6. Can you do that math in public, Conky?
I was thinking of a single group heavy that all of a sudden maneuvers. I'm sorry.
Exactly. So Chinese researchers have unveiled a military drone capable of splitting into 6 units in mid-air. Dude, that is...
It's like Thundercats.
Yeah. The drone marks a breakthrough in air separation technology and could change the battlefield. The new devices are faster and more efficient than traditional multi-rotor drones and have the ability to throw off opponents by unexpectedly multiplying into huge drone swarms on the battlefield. See, that is the problem. It's the swarms. It's not the onesie-twosies that, you have 5 hours of notice. It's the swarms that overwhelm your defenses and go back to Gonki's prevailing argument of what happens when one gets through. Inspired by the structure of maple seeds, they have just one blade, both when combined and divided. They can fly around freely like a standard drone and communicate to carry out complex missions. Despite their unusual shape, they boast a flight efficiency nearly twice that of a similar-sized multi-rotor drone, scientists said in a peer-reviewed paper published in Acta Aeronautica and Astronautica, Sinica journal. If traditional drones were combined, they would typically slow down, but when separated in single units, these drones' flight efficiency remains 40% higher than most small drones. So this is what, I guess, the plant that it's based off of. It's the ability to confuse responsive air defense systems, just like you said, single group hostile heavy.
Maneuver.
6 group wall, 8 group guerrilla.
Right. Right.
If the group was ready to be fielded and a conflict blew out today, it could be a tactical game changer. China's technology development process can be a black box at times, but I would not assume the announcement of this breakthrough means China will be fielding these things anytime soon. I would never underestimate our enemy. And then they go on to talk about the Ukraine conflict and what we've seen there, and that they're much higher end. Remember, even the Houthis, some of their drones in Yemen are just little sticks with engines on it and then like a payload. So it doesn't take much. But these small, affordable drones are reshaping the battlefield. Of course, we spent $2.4 billion because that's what we do. And $400 million for counter drone tech, which is a smart thing. The PLA's buildup is on a scale not seen since World War II. Land, sea, air, space, cyber, information domains. And if you remember, I'm not saying this is related, but if you recall, we were just talking about drone swarms at Langley, and they were trying to figure out where that would come from. So it's a real threat. It's really something that we worry about, not only at home, because imagine, the ability of a drone to break up and suddenly it's 6 of them, and you're trying to shoot down one, and next thing you know, you got multiple contacts. But also, it's just the further development and advancement of, I think, what's changing the battlescape with these drones. Imagine, because portability, right? What we've seen in Ukraine is it's a backpack, they launch it, and then they go and either drop a grenade in a tank, or it becomes what they call suicide drone, where it actually flies into the target. And imagine a kid that's got one of these in his backpack, and next thing he's, now it's not 1, it's 6 of them, or 8 of them, or 9 of them, or whatever. So, Gonky, what do you think, man?
We're in the infancy of drone warfare. It's the possibilities are just start digging through your favorite sci-fi movies, I mean, I don't know, man. Like you said, I mean, like take a Sea Whiz, right? So, if something gets past, your fighters and your Sea Sparrow, whatever, and it's the phalanx, man, and then that thing goes from 1 to 6. I mean, one's gonna get through, and let's say a couple get through, right? Now, then um it's truly, in this particular uh
Yeah.
article, it's truly uh, force multiplier, overwhelm them with numbers, and it's scary, man. I don't.
Well,
How do you fight that?
and to a lesser extent, we've talked about this with other countries, not with drones, but with like old jets, like MiG-15s, MiG-17, like,
100%.
these countries that, when we were always worried about, well, what happens when we run out of missiles? Well,
Exactly.
now you're running out of missiles because what you planned for multiplied times 6. And if it
Right.
takes missiles to shoot them down, like we just saw, because how hard is it to gun something that can break up into 6? It's hard enough to gun something in general.
Yeah, and odds are, guess what? When it breaks up into 6, it's going to be a lot smaller than it was, right? So it's even harder to hit. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, dude, there's a lot. There's a lot to be afraid of when you're thinking about, threat nations building that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And MJ says, are we sure this is not just some smart, forward thinking PR for when these things fall apart in midair? We know China is noted for its wonderfully high quality build.
Maybe.
Yeah. Underestimate them at your own peril.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm in a big chair in DC and I see something like this, I'm going, to the farthest back part of the vault and saying, what do we have to counter this? Because I'm taking it seriously. I'm taking this seriously. Okay, let's think 3 more steps ahead and what else could be next, because you don't want to fight the last war. You want to fight what's next, because you don't want to be caught.
Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. You can't. And I would say that, we generally at least in the US, I don't think we operate like that. I mean, there's been times where,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, MJ, maybe. I mean, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully we never find out.
It's a scary time.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.